Alright, for the purpose of this interview, will you please state your name and which town you live in?
Calvin Eldridge. I live in Howard, Massachusetts. Cape Cod.
Alright. Can you describe to us your life as a child?
Well, it's pretty much rural here on the Cape in those days. I can remember Route 124 being half sand when I was a kid. Did a lot of swimming over a long pond. And, we had a good life. Life on the Cape was easy then. No one bothered anyone. Come and go as you wanted to.
You were 16 when World War II ended, right?
Yeah.
What was it like here in Victory when you were in high school?
Oh gosh. It was a real friendly town, and everybody get along real well, and we had a lot of fun in school. I stayed in Howard till about the 8th grade, and then I was going to take over my grandfather's cranberry bogs. So I went away to school at Bristol County Agricultural School in Dighton, and spent 4 years there. And then when I came home, I started working on the bogs, and my best friend was in the Marine Corps, and he was shipped to Korea on some of the first drafts, and he got killed over there. So that kind of motivated me. I knew I would be drafted, so I decided to join the Marine Corps first, because I don't know why, I just kind of wanted to make up for him, I guess. But he was a very young, handsome, good fellow. It was too bad.
So when did you enlist? Was it as soon as you
I
turned
joined
18?
December 10th, 1950, and went to Parris Island and spent, supposed to be there 12 weeks, but they cut us down to 10 because there were things getting pretty rough over in Korea. It was going pretty bad over there, so they cut us down to 10 weeks so that we could go over there sooner.
And you picked the Marines because of your friend?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Harvey Goss was his name. Real nice, smart young man, you know. He started out as a private, he ended up as an officer in the Marine Corps. So he had a lot going for him. It's a shame. All death is a shame for young people, you know.
When you did know that you were going to enlist, what did you do before? Who did you tell? And what did you do before you left and went off to training?
Yeah, I told my parents. And they were very good about it, but they thought I should wait, you know, because nobody wants to have your son go to war. So I guess they were just as worried as any other parent sending their child off to war. You know. But my grandfather, I think, was the worst hurt, because I was going to take over his cranberry bogs and run them for him, and he was getting pretty old at the time, so it was probably the worst loss for him, really. But,
When you did decide, did you enlist with anyone else you knew from up here, or from where you were living?
No, I didn't. I got a phone call from the Marine Corps asking if I wanted to join. They invited me to come down to New Bedford to the recruiting station there, so I went down, and it sounded pretty good, and I thought I'd kind of like to go in the Marine Corps because of the training, really, and it was good training.
And what kind of stories did you hear of the war before you did enter?
Gosh, things were pretty rough over there. But we needed all the help they could get, you know. It was going to be a pretty tough war. Of course, we were just getting out of World War II, so we weren't really prepared for the Korea. You know, most of our equipment was pretty old and pretty well used up. But we survived. You know, we were getting rations. They were made in 1942, 43, so they were pretty old rations, you know, sea rations. That's what we got on line, 3 boxes.
What was your basic training like?
Oh boy, that was tough. Many times I thought, I don't know why I joined the Marine Corps. Because, boy, I'll tell you, in those days they weren't afraid to push you around and hit you and swear at you and make you pretty small. But it was a way of training. They knew if you trained you hard enough, you could survive. You know? But it wasn't much fun. It was a long 10 weeks, I'll tell you.
How did your training prepare you for the real thing?
It was good training. They trained you hard. They didn't let up on you at all. You dragged your backside when you went back to the barracks that night. They had live fire over you most of the time when you were trained, so you know what a bullet sound was like, or whatever.
Do you remember any specific things or people from training?
Yeah, I think if you look at that picture up there about boot camp, I think we had only 2 colored fellows in that whole unit. We weren't really. The Marine Corps was got segregated. The Army was segregated, but the Marine Corps was accepting colored people. And they were 2 of my best friends, it turned out to be. And we went to Korea together. Once we got on the ship, they split us all up into different units, so I never did see them again. But nice fellows.
How many people were there in training?
In training, gosh, we had, I was in first platoon. I really don't remember. I don't remember how many were in that platoon.
What was a typical day in Korea like?
Oh boy. In the summer, it was so hot you can't believe it. And in the wintertime, it was 30 below zero. But we didn't have much time to enjoy the territory, really. We were pretty much on the move all the time. Yeah. Although most of my tour over there was in trenches, really. We took a few hills, of course, but by then, one of my positions, I was in the machine gun squad leader, and one of my positions, I could see the peace tents at Panmunjom, and I could see Ridgway flying in and out in the helicopter. So we were on the downward track as far as the war was concerned.
Describe your most vivid memory of the war.
Oh gosh, it's pretty scary, really. I don't know. It's not good. War is not good. I remember one hill we took, and there was a young Chinese fellow. I guess he was Chinese, Russian. I don't know what he was. He wasn't real Chinese like you'd think. And I remember looking down on his face, which you shouldn't do. They say never look down at your dead enemy. And I thought, boy, you poor bugger, you know, somebody's waiting for you to come home, just like somebody's waiting for me to come home. And he was a handsome young guy, and I thought, gee, you know, he's a warrior, and yet he was a human being, and I felt sorry for him, you know, even though people over there, you try to kill each other because you want to do your job. But it's too bad. War is a waste of all young people.